now Joe Biden is out of the race, so the DOJ can be honest with us.
Hunter comes as the federal case looking into his foreign business dealings draws near. It centers on Romanian businessman Gabriel Popoviciu, with allegations Hunter Biden and another business associate received compensation from him, asserting he was attempting to influence U.S. policy and public opinion and cause the United States to investigate the investigation of him in Romania, all while Hunter Biden's father was serving as vice president, a relationship already uncovered by the House Oversight Committee last year.
Hunter Biden and his associates capitalized on a lucrative financial relationship with the Romanian national who was under investigation for and later convicted of corruption in Romania.
Popoviciu's sentence in Romania has now been dropped. That unnamed American business associate expected to testify against Hunter Biden in his upcoming trial, in which he's pleaded not guilty. Experts say the new evidence could show a violation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, or FARA, that Hunter Biden may have been trying to influence government policy on behalf of Popoviciu.
It seems very clear that Hunter Biden was part of a team that was trying to steer the Department of Justice into changing that designation on his behalf.
The trial also includes charges related to Hunter Biden's work with the Chinese energy company CEFC and the Ukrainian gas company Burisma.
In each of these cases, Hunter Biden was paid millions of dollars from these entities, and they were looking to varying degrees for favorable actions from the United States government, namely from his father, the Vice President of the United States.
So all of this information about Gabriel Popoviciu, the $3 million in payments to Hunter Biden and associates, is being used to buttress the tax case against him, as Chad just pointed out. But in doing so, Weiss opens up a whole new can of worms.
It really does. It's very frustrating for many of us who've been writing for years that we don't understand why there was not a charge under FARA for being an unregistered foreign agent. This record is replete with contracts that would seem to meet the standard used in earlier cases. During the Trump administration, you couldn't have an official go to Epcot without getting a FARA charge from the Justice Department. It seemed to be one of the most ubiquitous charges coming out of that department. With Hunter Biden, they have consistently ignored overwhelming evidence that he was receiving millions to influence policy. So now, after all that time, Weiss files this thing with the court saying, oh, well, yeah, we know that he was directing this stuff because he was getting money to influence U.S. policy from this Romanian. And it left everyone scratching their heads. It's like saying, you know, we can prove auto theft because we know he used it in the kidnapping. And the question is, well, why did you charge him on the kidnapping?
And not the auto theft, yeah. And this, which is from Weiss's filing before the Court of the Central District of California that was filed yesterday, really drives home the point of, well, wait a minute, why isn't there potential FARA charge here? He writes in part, quote, the government will introduce evidence that business associate one, which we believe is Hunter Biden, structured a business relationship in an effort to avoid having to register as a foreign agent, and that the defendant and his business partners did reach out to government officials, specifically the United States Department of State. Is that not enough evidence for a FARA charge?
Oh, it's not just this, but yes, that is a very strong basis for a FARA charge. It's also very similar to other transactions detailed by the House, particularly the Oversight Committee. It's very similar, by the way, to the Ukrainian controversy, because in that case, you had money going to Hunter Biden and then a famous dinner in which he left to make a call to Washington. That was shortly before his father gave that ultimatum to Ukraine to fire a prosecutor or they wouldn't get $1 billion in U.S. aid. So there is a pattern here of influence peddling specifically to influence U.S. policy. And the reason why the White House was most afraid of this charge is because it really blows away all of the spin in the media and by many of their political allies that the son of the president was getting millions of dollars to work for policy changes from the administration of his father with, and it was the Obama-Biden administration.
I swear to God, John, there's either a mind meld between the two of us, or you read my notes on my computer before we go on the air, because you mentioned the oversight and the other House committees. Here's what James Comer wrote on X yesterday. The Biden family's influence peddling schemes in Romania were documented in GOP Oversight's bank records memorandum in May of 2023. Bank records don't lie. The mainstream media took their marching orders from the Biden White House and turned a blind eye to the public corruption. And then here's what else Weiss writes in his filing with the Central District of California. And this is regarding CEFC, the Chinese company. The evidence will show the defendant performed almost no work in exchange for the millions of dollars he received from these entities. That is exactly what Comer and Jordan and Smith have been saying, and the Democrats and the legacy media have called it nothing more than political folly.
That's right. I mean, it's quite impressive for the media to ignore this scandal. It's one of the greatest corruption scandals of our lifetime. Millions and millions of dollars coming from these foreign sources, and the media has turned to willful blindness to pretend that, oh, you know, they really don't have enough to go on. Now you have a filing that confirms everything that all of us have been saying, and particularly these House committees. And the question is the mainstream media going to finally say, all right, we didn't pursue this. It does look like influence peddling on an unprecedented scale. I have doubts about that. But keep in mind, Weiss wanted to get rid of all of this. He wanted to reach a plea agreement with no jail time on relatively minor charges. The only reason we're at this point is that a courageous federal judge said, what the heck is this? I've never seen a plea agreement like this. And even the federal prosecutor admitted that he had never seen anything like this, and it fell apart. That's the only reason we're here right now talking about this.
Bill, good morning. It's possible this could be the closest anyone has come to showing a transfer of money from overseas in exchange for potential influence over U.S. policy with Hunter Biden. Now, we've heard about Hunter Biden's ties to the Ukrainian energy firm Burisma. House investigators have probed that for months. But how about potential links to Romania? Now, prosecutors in Hunter Biden's tax case say he worked for Gabriel Popoviciu. He's a Romanian business magnate. Now, the allegation is that Hunter Biden and his business colleagues took $3 million in payments. Popoviciu faces a criminal investigation in Romania over a land deal. Special counsel David Weiss makes that very case in his filing in California. Weiss alleges they structured the deal for Hunter so it, quote, concealed the true nature of the work he was performing. Now, prosecutors say there were concerns about ramifications for President Biden. Popoviciu is expected to testify at Hunter Biden's tax evasion trial in Los Angeles that starts September 5th. He's charged with failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes over a 4-year period. The House's impeachment inquiry remains open. Republicans claim Hunter Biden sold his father as the brand and used the president for access.